Wow, we got two great sources. We have Clutch Sports, Brent Siegel, and the Steen Line that multiple teams right now are calling the Milwaukee Bucks, including the Warriors, the Miami Heat, and the New York Knicks. And don't forget those dark horse teams. They're calling the Milwaukee Bucks because at the end of the day, we have 2 weeks left. All right, we are running out of time. It's either Giannis is going to be traded now or he's going to be traded during the offseason. Obviously, if the Milwaukee Bucks wait for the offseason, there's going to be a few more teams that will have more flexibility, more first-round picks, and depending on expirings and the other contracts and young pieces, it's going to be a little bit more flexible for them during the offseason compared to right now in the middle of the season. My question is, will the Miami Heat go all in? Is it going to be worth it? Let me know in the comments, especially with Giannis' lower body injury history. He's been injured around either this time or the playoffs with calf strains, knee, ankle. It's always something lower body. And at 31 years old, going into the future, is it worth going all in right now for Giannis? Let's get into the video.
I'll tell you this. I'll answer a different way. Even though he's probably not going to get traded in these next 14 days or request a trade, the Bucks are going to get calls from the Warriors. They're going to get calls from the Heat. I'm sure they're going to get calls from both teams in New York, the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks, and many other teams around the league are going to call them and say, what is going on with Giannis? Because they're all waiting. They want to get in a bidding war for him. And there's been teams that have been waiting since 2020, 2021 to try to get Giannis.
Brett Siegel, along with a lot of other people, feel like Giannis is on his way out. And I feel the same exact way, especially how he's at the end of the bench. He stopped talking to Doc Rivers. You know, you have Chris Haynes pretty much saying that he's hearing that, you know, Giannis is calling guys out in the locker room, which he's really never done before. So right now, there's a lot of tension. Also, too, there's rumors about the GM, who he's ducking questions. He's not really in the media answering any of these questions about Giannis. The only thing he said a few months ago is that even if they were to trade Giannis, they're going to gut the other team.
One that really stuck out to me from an Eastern Conference executive I spoke with, I'm going to read it to everybody right here. It was, quote, it really seems like he's made up his mind already, but this is Giannis that we're talking about, and he's very careful with the words he picks when talking to the media because he doesn't want to be painted as the villain in Milwaukee. And if we're being honest, he shouldn't be, no matter if he requests a trade or not. That, to me, that signals that Giannis is already on his way out and everybody knows it, which is why this market is basically held up right now, Tomer, where these teams, whether it's the Warriors, the Heat, the Knicks, they're not going to go out and sacrifice all their assets at the trade deadline or even any assets knowing that this is going to be an option for them in the summer.
When it comes to Giannis, I'm really just waiting on the Shams bomb to drop that he requested a trade or that they're going to separate. Now, when it comes to the Miami Heat and what they've done these past 2 games, you got to give them credit. I understand that it's the Utah Jazz and it's the Phoenix Suns without Devin Booker, but the fact that we're able to go out there and play who's in front of us, especially how we're missing Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Davion Mitchell, so we're banged up too, and there's really no excuses. But you really got to tip your hat off to Bam. I think Bam has been solid. I understand a lot of people have been calling him Bambi. They've been calling him soft, especially with his extension kicking in next year when he's on that big contract. He's really been leading this Miami Heat team, and I'm glad that Erik Spoelstra called him out. But this is what I mean by Bam standing on his nuts. 22-7, 26-15, 32-10, 25-7. This Miami Heat team will only go as far as Bam Adebayo and the main leaders on this team will take them. Bam Adebayo, throughout the last 7 games, he's averaging 26.6 points per game, 9.1 rebounds per game, and 3.3 assists per game. With the Miami Heat pushing right now, we're 7th in the Eastern Conference. I don't care what anyone says. I understand we're banged up. Tyler Hero's been in and out of the lineup. He's only played 11 games. I'm going to lean on Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, Norman Powell, and the rest of these role players. We're not talking about Pelle Larsson enough and what he's bringing to this Miami Heat team. His hustle, his fight. First of all, he's constantly getting punched and elbowed and uppercutted. I've never seen someone get hit in the face so much and take it like a champ. But at the end of the day, these are the types of guys that the Miami Heat need to continue to build around. And this is why it's so important to continue to play our young guys. Even Jimmy Butler noticed how great Pelle Larsson was as an overall player and how he even said he reminds him of himself when he first came into the league.
He just do everything. He really do. Like, he can shoot the ball, he can handle the ball, he can finish, he can guard. I think as the game continually slows down for him, he's just going to get more and more comfortable and better. It's really going to be hard for Spo to take him off the floor. I like the way that I always see him in early, leaving late. And honestly, he reminds me of myself whenever I was younger in this league. He could probably shoot the ball a lot better.
My question to you guys is, there's a lot of people saying that Pelle Larsson should not be removed from the starting lineup when Tyler Hero gets back. Do you guys want Pelle Larsson to start? And what is your starting lineup looking like? In my opinion, I think Tyler Hero should come off that bench only because he's really unpredictable in terms of when is he going to be available. This whole thing where he's in and out of the lineup, and by the time he comes back, more than half of the season is done. We're almost approaching the trade deadline. All-Star weekend is approaching. The season's almost halfway done. Now, when it comes to Kasparas, I think he's been phenomenal. I know he doesn't have monster numbers. Versus the Jazz, 12 points and 5 rebounds. Versus Phoenix, 7 points and 6 rebounds and 3 assists. I'm very happy with Kasparas. This is why we have to play our young guys, to see what they're all made of. I understand he's only 19 years old, and this is why next season he has to start, in my opinion. I think he's showing the playmaking, and I'm very happy with the defense. Andrew Wiggins, he's been solid, especially on the offensive glass. He's been a monster when it comes to rebounding. Drew Smith, he's had back-to-back games with 5 steals. Fontecchio, he was in a shooting slump for a long time, and he's been knocking down big shots, hitting timely threes, and I feel like he really has underrated defense. I understand how this Miami Heat season has been very up and down. Guys have been banged up, but there's still no excuse for us not to be a top 5 team. I do not want to be in the play-in tournament once again for the 4th straight year in a row. Hopefully, guys like Norman Powell, which he's playing banged up. Hopefully, Tyler Hero can come back. Davion Mitchell with his shoulder injury. Khalil Ware with his hamstring injury. I want to see this Miami Heat team go on a little bit of a run, stack up some wins. Let's go Heat.